Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. Well, a new year. Hopefully it will be a more exciting, in a good way, year. And for the last time, for this year at least, Happy New Year everyone. Before I start, I just wanted to give a shout out to Pete because of him and the shout out that he gave to me at the end of last year. We are actually in the zone of over 1,000 subscribers, so that means that very soon I will be finally having done a giveaway with my fountain pens, with the fountain pens that I'm making. So stay tuned for that. Probably we'll have it towards the end of the month, or based on what I see, if I look at the calendar, it seems that the next Saturday that is closer to the end of the month will be actually the February the 1st. So most probably that's when I'm gonna make the giveaway. Planning to give away 2 fountain pens this time, and yeah, we'll see how it's gonna be then. I'm gonna give more instruction on that video with the entry and what you need to do in order to basically subscribe for the giveaway. So Pete, thank you very much for the call. Thank you a lot for your support over the years, and I really appreciate you. Thank you. And for those of you who joined me from Pete, I hope I'm not going to be too much of a bore. I'm not as exciting or as funny as Pete, but hopefully you'll enjoy at least the silly drawing that I tend to make. With that said, finally, after basically a long waiting time, I end up getting a new fountain pen. Well, at least new for me. Apparently this Jinhao A10 has been around for quite a while now, and it's actually a pretty nice fountain pen. I mean, if you already have a Pilot capless or a Moonman A1, this fountain pen is pretty much the same. In some ways, I find it maybe a little bit better than the Moonman A1. What I like about it is that the insert that goes inside the fountain pen with the nib that holds your nib and your converter sits much nicer in the barrel. You don't actually have to fight it to sit in the groove while you're trying to put the end of the pen on. It's pretty much like the capless fountain pen. It sits nice in the groove, and again, you don't have to fight it. Otherwise, I think it's pretty much exactly the same pen, just with some small visual details different. It feels robust in the hand. I actually played around with it and with the capless Pilot, and I try and mismatch parts from one to another and try and combine them. I basically had like a Frankenpen where I had, let's say, the barrel from the capless Pilot, the insert from the Moonman, and the end from the Jinhao, and all parts just connected without an issue. And the fountain pen seems to be working quite okay. On the others, maybe on the downside on the fountain pen is that this fountain pen, at least based on what I got, it only came with converter, which doesn't bother me. For me, it's perfect. I usually don't use cartridges. But if you like that small package that comes with Moonman versions, where they have basically 2 cartridges, with one of them has the plug to use it as a spare, and plus the converter and the metal sleeve that goes over the cartridge, this one doesn't come with it. However, I am more than sure that you can buy that package separate from Moonman, and it will fit on this fountain pen without an issue. On the other upside, this version from Jinhao, it's slightly cheaper than the Moonman A1. So I guess you could win that way. Which one you like the most? I guess Moonman has more versions out there, and they definitely have more flavors to suit more people. The Jinhao, since it's recent, they don't have a lot of versions, but still, like I mentioned, a pretty good fountain pen. Writing wise, actually was pretty good. The nib is very smooth and actually wet, which I don't like it that much because usually that means I'll have some challenges with the drawing. It won't work exactly how I wanted it to be. Speaking of the drawing, as you probably see me already, I'm working on it right now, and this is my first drawing after 4 weeks of doing nothing. Basically, I took a sabbatical from drawing. I felt a little bit burned out and I needed a break. Fortunately, usually I work and I have 4 or 5 videos ahead of time. Right now I have none. I'm pretty much up to date, as they say, so I'll try and catch up slowly throughout the year and put myself ahead. I like being ahead because this gives me the chance to take a break if I need to, and that means that at least for that week I will still have a video since again I'm ahead of time. So the drawing was actually fairly interesting. I started with some random lines on the page and slowly start to build up. I end up with something that I did not expect to end up with. Again, another weird creature that eerily looks familiar with something, but is nothing alike. Turned out to be some sort of a bird portrait with a very weird beak, some really weird eyes. I did screw up a little bit the position of the subject. I realized a little bit too late that the way I drew the lines, I drew them a little bit closer to the top of the paper and the right of the paper, and I had a lot of space at the bottom left. So eventually I actually end up doing something else in there just to fill up the space, and I think it worked out for the best. One thing that you don't see me doing in the video, I'm not filling up the fountain pen because I've been using this fountain pen before, planning to make a video about it. However, you will see me filling it up again sometime mid-drawing because, well, just like the Pilot Capless and the Moonman A1 doesn't really hold a lot of ink in that converter. And I could understand why a lot of people prefer the cartridge versus the converter. However, personally, because of the reusability, I always try and use a converter. I decided to use the fountain pen before actually doing a drawing with it and recording myself with it just to try and warm up myself after this 4 weeks period of not doing anything. And for whatever reasons, while I was testing the fountain pen, I decided with this ink that I'm using right now, which by the way, it's from Pilot Iroshizuku Take-Sumi. So again, for whatever reason, I decided to actually try and bring some new colors and see how this ink will combine with alcohol markers. I wanted to just give it a very slight darker version of some parts of the testings that I was doing with it, and I discovered something really beautiful that I'm really happy and I want to try with other inks as well. Basically, as I was going with the alcohol marker, a very light gray, I realized that, well, since the ink is not 100% waterproof or alcohol proof, it did bleed a little bit, but the way it bled into a very nice green moss color, which I actually loved. So you'll see me eventually towards the end of the drawing doing that, and I'll let you decide if that is a nice color or not. But yeah, I really liked it. The other thing that I think I screwed up on the drawing was the eye, and that's why I left it the last. You'll see me, I kept on postponing working on it for pretty much until the end. That's because I wasn't sure exactly what kind of eye I want to put on this bird-like creature. And I think I overthinked it, and that was pretty much the downside. I'm not 100% sure I like what I came up with. I kind of I mean, it's okay, I guess, at least for this drawing and this creature. The way I position the eye, that gave me the idea of adding the second thing in the drawing and balancing it. Because as you'll see, the way the eye was positioned, it looked like it was actually looking somewhere down in front of it, which was like perfect placement for what I was planning, what I decided to put the second element of the drawing. What I do like about this drawing, I love that beak, like whatever that is. I'm calling it a beak, but I don't know if it can function as a beak based on how it's designed. Maybe it's one of those kind of birds that feeds itself more like an anteater, so it's using that long thing to get into tight places, and then just has maybe hopefully like a small tongue coming out of it. Now the other thing that comes at the end, which is more like a claw look like, maybe that's a way for it to grab sticks, you know, like a claw basically. So maybe there is some mobility in that weird beak, just to grab stuff, not necessarily, or to break stuff maybe, not necessarily to eat or feed itself with it. Could also be defensive. I don't see how, but why not? After all, we are talking about imaginary creatures. What do you think this bird could be, and how in the world does it feed itself based on how it looks? Another thing that I really like, I love the hairdo that I put on this bird. Definitely not feathers, more like a very fine combed fur hair. I don't know what it is, but it did turn out to be green eventually once I put the alcohol marker on it. Working on the hair, as you see me working right now, took me actually quite a lot to get it. The drawing by itself, it took me 4 hours and a half to complete it. Yeah, that was a long time for me to draw after an absence of 4 weeks. At least I kept it on the number 4 somehow. And yeah, the fundament actually worked out pretty good on this paper. I'm still using the same paper that I discovered last year via Pete. Again, thanks. I end up using this paper because of a challenge that I put myself through it after seeing his videos. One trick, I think I've said this in one of my videos last year as well. One trick that I have with nibs that are very wet and to try and drag them on the page and to give me the chance to actually layer up a little bit was to use the nib slightly rotated 45 degrees. So basically the slit of the nib is not perfectly on the page, it's slightly off the page, so the ink flow it's a little bit less. Quick side note on this paper, I don't know if I mentioned yet, I might have said that I am planning to get a notebook with this or a sketchbook, traveler sketchbook with this paper, and I did, and I've been doing some drawings in that actually made me want to get another sketchbook. So right now I have a small traveler's sketchbook that I'm using, and I've been posting some of my drawings on my Instagram account, but I also have a larger one which is more like 9x7 or something like that, that is more like a serious sketchbook, and I'll probably use that in some of my feature videos. Oh, you just noticed me, just finished actually filling it up again. And because of that, now the fountain pen is very, or the nib is very wet, so I have extra challenges in trying to get faded lines that I can build on top of it. And that's when, unfortunately, I also decided to do the eye, so I darkened it a little bit more than I wanted to. I wanted to keep the same structure or pattern like on the beak, So at least the eye has some similarities with the beak. So somehow it's not really a fleshy eye, it's more like a hardened eye, if that's even possible. Anyway, now you see me doing the alcohol marker, and I love this moss color. At the end, when I'm showing the close-up, you'll see a little bit better the color. I did not expect it to get a green of what it looks like to be basically black ink, and it was a very pleasant surprise, and I'm really happy I tried to put the alcohol marker on top of it. I need to try this with some other things. And now you see me, sort of, unfortunately I wasn't paying attention on the camera, doing the other second little creature on the page. I guess this could be one of the things that the bird-like creature feeds on. The thing is, I actually liked how this little thing turned out. Almost made me want to do a drawing only with that thing. So probably maybe in the future I'm gonna end up doing a drawing just with that little creature, or I'm gonna try and redo it at a larger scale. I like the little hands that I put on it. I think it was kind of funny. And yeah, just trying to work that beak a little bit. I did another thing that was coming out of the beak. I don't know what that is again, but hey, it is part of it. And I guess now you can see that green color a little bit better. Very pleasant. And I like that the gray alcohol marker is not very dark, so you can barely notice it. You can really see it only when you go close up to it. Anyway, this was the drawing. It was fun. My first drawing for the year. Maybe not my best drawing up so far, but not my worst either. I really enjoy making it, and hopefully next week I'll be having something a little bit more pleasant or more exciting to look at. With that said, I guess I'm back. Expect again a giveaway soon, probably towards the end of the month, beginning of next month. And more drawings to come slowly every week until, well, I'm not around, I guess. Anyway, thank you for joining me. For those of you who subscribed, thank you for subscribing. And I guess I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.